Broducers, it's Özgün here. In this tutorial, I'm gonna listen your demos that you sent me from Discord, and if you don't wanna miss the next feedback stream, you can join the Discord, link in the description. And if you're ready, let's get into the tutorial. So we are starting with the Poison track, let's go.
The solar system travels the universe, a connection of planets and asteroids that floats through space, providing a home to various forms of life and being a shelter in a dark reality. This is a home for everyone, with the sun shining bright.
Loving it so far, really professional.
The solar system.
I think the drop leads could be just a little bit bigger. You know what I'm saying this one? If you just check the build up, so the beginning of the build up is actually louder than the drop. If you just look at the waveform, it has more RMS, it has more volume, it has more decibels. And you gotta make sure the drop is always the biggest thing in the track. But still, I really enjoy the leads. It's sounding really unique, and in my opinion, it's really good so far. Only thing so far, the problem is drop could be bigger just a little bit. In this part, I think the vocals are a little bit pushed to back of the mix. I will make sure the vocals are, understandable no matter what.
The solar system.
And also, yes, I agree with the comment in this section. I will give some variations on the second drop, but because it seems it's just kinda right now same with the first drop. But other than that, the fire track, man, I really enjoyed it. The production quality is really good. Yeah, man, good job on this track and congratulations. I think it's almost release ready. Just several things that we mentioned. And yeah, man, keep it up. So we are going to the next track.
What happens in dreams when we fly? Never been a science tonight. Staring through a window in time for someone to show me what I'm like. You said hello, it's like
I think in the break section, in this section, you could just have a re-bass, just a hover bass that just hold a note or play the chord progression, the bass progression. Right now, the main bass of the break a little bit pushed to back of the mix, and it's just losing a little bit of power.
Tonight, and I just don't understand. I'm not the man on the moon, on the moon. I heard him saying, I'm not the man on the moon, on the moon. We'll be okay. I'm not the man on the moon, on the moon. I heard him saying, I'm not the man
Dude, I love the drop vibes. The second part of the drop has amazing melodies, amazing synths. I love it. Only thing I can criticize is maybe the kick a little bit too boomy. Maybe it could have a little bit more click, so it cut through better. And other than that, I think bass the basses could be a little bit more warm. Maybe you can boost like the 200, 330. You can just check those frequencies. I could have some grit on the drop bass.
on the moon, on the moon.
Now it sounds like just a sub, but if you just give a little bit of saturation to the bass, it can cover more frequencies. But yeah, I love the vibes, I love the emotions.
I met the man on the moon. He wore his head to the side. I met the man on the moon. The start of the one we dream in the dark. Yeah. I met the man on the moon, on the moon. I heard him saying, I met the man on the moon, on the moon. We'll be okay. He said hello. It's like a mirror in the sky. And I can see this from up high. Oh boy, we looking good tonight. And I just don't understand.
And also I would expect some, drum fills in the gaps of the drops. And other than that, I think the build up could be a little bit more crazy. Now it's too stable, not that much dynamic, and it's just not driving me to the drop. If you can make a better build up, the drop is going to impact so much bigger. But other than that, perfect track, man. Love the emotions, love the melodies. Good job on this one. Let's go to the next track. I can say that the beginning of this section is a little bit empty. I would expect some more ear candies, some more sweeps, the background sounds, keep the things interesting. Other than that, the foundation, the kick bass, they are real solid. But right now, it's a little bit empty currently. And also you need some, claps, some snare fills, just some drums on the fills, so it drives the track, drives the drop, and keep the things interesting. Again, for example, in this transition, I would expect some, risers, sweep down, some drum fills. You gotta make a good foundation of kick and bass, but at the same time, you totally need tons of stuff, the claps, the drum fills, the sweeps, the background stuff, the ear candies to keep the things interesting. Again, it a little bit looks like a loop. It's not variating itself. It's just looping itself. And the thing that added to top of each other, it's not making it that much unique. You need some pads, maybe some choir, maybe, some variations on the arp, some counter synth, counter melody, that kind of stuff to keep the things moving, to keep the things variating. Yeah, man, the foundation is really good, but the biggest feedback could be this. It's just repeating too much itself. It needs variations. Maybe just you can shorten the track a little bit and try to add more stuff. Then it's probably good because the kick bass, the foundation, the ideas, the melodies are really decent. But right now it's a little bit too much repeating itself. But other than that, really good job. Congratulations. So we are going to the next track. We definitely need some theme in here. Maybe some vocal, maybe some top melody, something like that to give a character to the break section. I think there's some problem with the balancing of the drop. The kick a little bit too present and the main drop lead, the synths that play the main melody, has too much reverb and it's drowning itself. And I cannot get what it plays. So I would suggest you to rebalance the drop by starting with kick bass, the main elements of the track, and then you can just balance them in a priority order, add one by one. Maybe after kick bass you can put the leads, then put the drop drums, something like that, so you can just balance it properly. And other than that, I have some idea for you. You can get the drop lead melody in the drop, and you can get some plucky synth, some small synth sound, and you can just filter that melody in towards the drop all the time in the break section. So with this way you can make the breaks more interesting. And if it's progressive house, we need some melodies starting from the break, and it should progress itself towards the drop. That's the main idea of progressive house. So I suggest you to have the melody, at least a portion of the melody, and make it played by another synth in the break section. So it's gonna give some theme, some story to the break as well. And yeah, the drop needs to be rebalanced in terms of mixing decisions. And some idea for you, the second break, you don't need to make it exactly the same with the first break. You can make some changes like that. You can put some kick at maybe middle of the break, and kick can, play dum, 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 dum. It can play its rhythm, just like the drop, but you can filter the kick by cutting the high frequencies. So you can hide it really back of the mix. So it's gonna give some driving, some rhythmic feeling to the break section, and it's gonna be different than the first break if you add some, little drums and hide it to the background. This is one of the things I hear a lot when I listen progressive house. Because the melodies are really decent. I love your melodies, but the mix down, yeah, you can work on that. And I can tell you that you said you are 1-year-old producer, and you're probably better than my first year, so it's good job. But yeah, it requires a little bit more work to make it release ready. And thanks for sending me your track. Keep it up. We are going to the next track.
the first decade. (1992 to 2002).
Dude, have some mercy on me. I'm an old man. So I don't have any feedback for that. It was hard. It was sounding good and musical, but that was way too hard for my taste. And yeah, just let me know in the comment section what you guys think about these genres, because it seems I don't know that much about it. Okay, man, you got me. I got no feedbacks because I don't know what to say. I think it's good. Yeah, it's way too hard for my taste, but I think it's good. So yeah, if anyone got some feedback on this track, just let me know in the comments. I'm gonna go to the next track now. So let's go to the next track. Yeah, it's a really energetic drop. It's kind of like future rave, a little bit of electro house. I really enjoyed it so far.
Breaking all the walls that you built. I'm driving you crazy, that's my gift. There's no way out, you should admit. Can't taste my love, it has limit. Breaking all the walls that you built. I'm
Yeah, man, I got no negative feedbacks. That's the dope track. You already posted on your SoundCloud. So a really proper track. Keep it up, man. I'm gonna waiting for the next track of yours in the next feedback stream as well. Going to the next track. The ARP that is filtering in and coming to the main ARP of the drop, that sound is a little bit, masked by the other sounds. I think you can mix them a little bit better. And I think this part overly a little bit too complicated. I think there are too much things going on. Maybe you can make them a little bit more minimalistic and remove some stuff, because I think there are so many sounds going on. It's too soon and they are just conflicting with each other. Again, kind of same stuff. Like we have the top melody and we have some ARP, and the bass is also gritty, and everything is becoming too complicated. I will just keep the things more minimalistic and make sure the sounds that you are picking are not fighting with each other. But right now, the ARP, the main melody, they are kind of fighting for the same spot. Yeah, man, I think there's no problems, at least like not that much problems on the mixdown, but the problem is the sound selection and the overall arrangement of the sounds. Like some sounds are coming when there are already too much going on and they are just cannot make themselves hearable, visible in the track. I think just you can work more and practice on that aspects, and I'm sure the next track is going to be much more solid. This one is also good, but as I say, there are some, decisions that you gotta make and, give up from some sound and make some sounds to give the main role. Right now, too much going on and it's a little bit too crowded in my opinion. But yeah, good job, man. Thanks for sending me your tracks. We are going to the next track. I think this impact a little bit too loud compared to rest. I definitely give more volume to the main melody in this section. In my opinion, drop is a little bit too crowded. Maybe the main lead got too much reverb, I'm not sure. And also the claps are hitting too hard, like just reduce the volume just a little bit. I think you gotta rebalance the things in the drop. The second part of the drop, the leads are not hearable that much. They pushed way too back of the mix. And the kick bass is a little bit too loud in my opinion. Yeah, there are some unbalanced things going on in the drops. Let's compare with the plug. The plugs are more loud than the break climax lead in here. You gotta make sure the climax are louder than the plug parts, and also drops are louder than the rest of the track. That's the thing to, organize the overall balances of the track. Yeah, other than that, I think the melodies are proper. The drops are pretty decent, pretty energetic. But the overall balances and there's some mixing issues I can address. But other than that, really good job. I remember this beginning from somewhere. I think the kick is a little bit too boomy. I will maybe lower it just a little bit, or I'm not sure. It just have too much sub going on compared to the bass. And the kick is just too much bigger if I compare it with the sub and the bass. I will just try to make them a little bit closer to each other. You know what you could do? You are opening the filter of the main ARP like all the way up in the build up. So maybe in the drop, you can just close the filter and make the plug so much smaller, at least like in the first 4 bars of the drop. It could make incredible big contrast to the build up section and the drop. And it's gonna be impact even harder than the open filtered lead. And you can just go to the open filter lead in the second part of the drop. So you get variation and you get two different parts of the first drop. So which could a really good improvement on the track. Here just start with closed filter instead of this much open filter for the main lead, main ARP. Make the claps a little bit smaller. They are, I think, too loud now. I think the second drop is amazing. Only feedback I can give, you can give more delay to the main drop lead sound. So when there's silence, we can hear the, maybe ping-pong delay tails, and it could fill the gaps that you have with a really good way. But other than that, perfect track, man. I really enjoyed it. And I see you use some of my samples, which I really appreciated. I hope they are useful for you. And I'm glad you like my samples and use it in your track. Yeah, man, really good track. Congratulations on that. I think for intro, you have too much stuff going on. Maybe you don't need the hover, and also ARP could be smaller. Yeah, you don't need that much stuff when just first starting the track. I don't know, but I wouldn't use an ARP, plug ARP melody beneath the vocals. I think the vocals are pretty huge, and you just mix tons of different, background stuff to make that section very big climax. So I wouldn't use an ARP, but this is just a producer's choice. Yeah, it's good, but I think it's something extra, we don't need. You know, just a little bit, I think drops are missing some very sub, very bass frequencies. Kind of breaks are a little bit more, you know, full in the low end. But when we go to the drop, the bass didn't hit me as hard as I expected. I think it's perfect. Just make sure the drop has a little bit bigger bass, bigger sub. Maybe like there's a trick. I'm not sure if it's gonna work on this track, but I usually boost the fifth of the root note. So if we say like the root note is this track, let's say D sharp, I'm boosting the A sharp note just after the first D sharp, as I remember, or second. Yeah, it should be like second A sharp. So the fifth, but not the first fifth, the second fifth. I'm just boosting it a little bit on the bass group, bass mixer channel. And it's just adding some, you know, upper bass frequencies and give some resonating feeling. Maybe it could fix it. Maybe you can just give a little bit volume to the bass, but just 1 or 2 dB, that's all. Other than that, perfect festival mix. I really enjoyed the track, and you know, if I play big rooms, I definitely get this one on my sets. So really good job, man. Congratulations. We are going to the next track. I think the problem is you tease the droplets too early in the build. Maybe you can have another synth, some plug, play the same melody so you don't show the leads before the drop. And when we go to the drop, we hear the leads for the first time and it will make the drop impact even bigger. But right now, you just spoil the surprise a little bit by just showing me the drop leads way too early in the track. And I think the mid bass could be a little bit bigger, a little bit more gritty. Right now the sounds are a little bit too flat, in my opinion. You can add some textures, some more support lead, some more mid bass to, you know, make it more interesting and rich sounding tracks. So you have a guitar melody, electric guitar in here. Make sure to volume it up so cool hearable. Right now it's too pushed back to the mix. And in the climax part, in this part, so you have some notes are holding, right? Ba, 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 ba. So the holding notes can have maybe some tremolo effect or some flanger effect. So you can make them more interesting just instead of holding the sustain note. If you work on the details, I think the melodies are pretty decent, but the production can be more interesting. And also you can try to have some swing. So if you are using FL Studio, you can just activate the main swing in here. So it can be a little bit more groovy because in that kind of tracks, I hear tons of swing going on to get more groove, more vibe of the track. So Emma, really good job. Thanks for sending me your track as well. We are going to the next track.
Penetration. Warm disaster recovery site. Access control. Decapsulation.
This ARP can be have more reverb, more delay, can be more wet. I think right now it's a little bit too dry.
Penetration. Penetration.
I think the foundation is really good, but yeah, the main sound is kind of not fitting with the vibe. Probably it's too dry, or maybe you can just try different leads, different sounds. And also the sound you use must have some, macros, some movement, some variation, maybe close filter, maybe change the release decay settings, that kind of stuff to keep interesting. Right now it's just repeating itself too often. But the main groove, the kick bass, the bass shots are amazing. I love it so far.
Access control. Decapsulation.
And also you need some background stuff, the risers, the sweep downs, the white noises. Right now it's a little bit too empty.
Disaster recovery site. Access control. Decapsulation. Site. Access.
And also maybe before you going to the drop, you can have some snares, some drum fills to keep the things interesting and make it more rich. The foundation of the tracks is just amazing. Just work on the details, change the main drop melody, ARP kind of lead, and even you can work on the melody, but yeah, mostly the sound is not that fitting. It's too bright to compare to the rest of the drop. Add more effects, white noises, ear candies, and this track is really decent, man. You just gotta work on the details, and thanks for sending me your track. Going to the next track. I feel like the pianos in the break a little bit too robotic. Maybe you can, change the starting positions of the MIDI. So make it more humanized. And also you can work with the velocities to even get this more humanized. I think the drop is good. Maybe the pianos are a little bit boxy. I will try to dip the 300 Hz to 400, something like that, and see if it's become more relaxed. And other than that, maybe you need some variations. Maybe you don't start with everything you have. You can add down one by one each other. But other than that, really solid drop idea, like really positive, happy vibes. I love it. Yeah, these snares are a little bit too heavy for this kind of happy track. I would get more small snares. Yeah, for the first drop, I will start just with the kick and the melody and then add the drums top of each other. But other than that, for example, after build up, the drop impact so much bigger. I really love it. So most of the people are struggling to make it happen. But yeah, your drops are impacting really big. And that's a really good thing to have. Yeah, man, good job. Really decent track. Just a little bit mixing and drum arrangements and it's good to go. Going to the next track. Perfect so far. Got nothing negative to say. I think you have some vocals in the background, but I cannot understand. Maybe it's your choice, but if you like, just bring them a little bit bigger.
The gap. Please mind the gap.
Yeah, man, this track is just so good. You know, the melodies are good. It's driving me inside, and I just like to listen it forever. You know, the groove and the vibe is perfect. It's just take me in the first listen. So this is a really hard thing to do, and you already have that. So I think it's already released already, man. Really good job. Okay, we are going to the next track. I'm a little bit tired, but yeah, we have 4 more tracks to listen today.
Let's get f***ing off the list.
These impacts are a little bit louder.
let's just move to rhythm.
So the first feedback, just instantly I can give you that. Just listen the impact that you have in the break.
Now let's just move to rhythm.
And now listen the drop, kick and bass. Compared to FX and the vocal before the drop, your drop, kick and bass are too small. I think the first thing is the sound selection. The kick is not, work well in this kind of tracks. It's too EDM-ish kick, but you need more distorted kick. And just make sure to watch my kick layering video. And yeah, you can come up with something big kick in here. Other than that, the drop main lead is good, but you need more ear candies. For example, in the mid drop field, you need some background synths as well. Just clap is not working in my opinion. Again, these parts are a little bit empty. Maybe have some, background pads, the choirs, some ear candies, some ambient sounds to keep the break more full in terms of spectrum feeling. Again, like this climax part, it's bigger than the drop. Yeah, you gotta just rebalance the things according to each other. So it's a nice idea, but I can say there are some mixing problems. Just keep working on them. I think the first thing to do is find a better drop kick. It's not gonna work in this kind of tracks if you don't have that like a distorted and big kick drum. And other than that, give some ear candies, work more on the details. Yeah, other than that, yeah, after fixing the kick and bass, it's probably gonna be so much better. So it's a good track with a good potential, but you gotta work on the details as well. It's really nice industrial kind of drop. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it's genre specific, but I would add some top melody, at least some hook that plays several times, so it gives the track more identity. But I think it's the producer's choice, but I don't have any, mixed down problems. Everything sounds really solid. The main leads in here, the main, chord step sound is a little bit too harsh in my opinion. Maybe you can just compress it a little bit, maybe just OTT or clipping will solve the problem. It's a little bit harsh in my opinion right now. And other than that, I would add some, at least vocals, some robotic vocals to support the theme of the cybernetic in the name of the track. And other than that, that's really proper track. There's no that much mixing issues, just some producers' choices. I don't disagree with. I would just feel it a little bit more, but other than that, really solid track, man. Thanks for sending me over. We are going to do next track. Kick bass perfect, the groove of the bass amazing, but that harsh hi-hat's just a little bit harsh. I don't know in which frequency. Probably, there's some resonating frequency that you should fix it. The claps are also a little bit bigger than it should be. It's kinda, louder than the kick click.
We're about to live together, can't you see? We're about to live together, can't you see? We're about to, can't you see? We're about to live together, can't you live together, can't you see? We're about to live together, can't you see? We're about to live together, can't you see? Can't you see? We got to live together. Can't you see? We got to live together. Can't you see?
Again, this step is a little bit too harsh. I will just lower the volume just a little bit and EQ it a little bit better to fit more in the mix. But the groove is perfect.
Can't you see? Yes, we've got to live together. Can't you see? Yes,
I will definitely add at least some, tension pads to keep the spectrum more full in this section. Just vocal and, drums are a little bit too empty in my opinion.
Can't you see?
Yeah, man, the groove is perfect. The groove is amazing. Just some small mixing problems, then it's totally release ready. And I love the vibe of the track. I really enjoyed while listening it. And this is the last track of today's stream. I think the drop leads are too reverby. They are missing inside of too much reverb. I will keep them more dry. And yeah, the next thing I will change, probably I wouldn't, start with the bass progression of the drop. I would just have just a single note, just a regular in big room track. I do the transition in the second part. It's gonna make the drop impact even bigger if you do that. Yeah, the drums are, everything is really proper, but yeah, the drop leads are too wet, and the drop bass shouldn't, I think, move that much, you know, in a big room track. You can do it in the second drop, but in the first drop, just go straight bass line.
Bring on the party. Turn me on and get to know me. Like what you see. Yeah, I'll set you free. In the middle of the night, where you at? I just want you by my side. I like that. Only you make me feel right. Come on back. Oh, the way you get me high. I like that.
So in this part, it's supposed to be bigger than the previous part. If you look at the waveform, that climax section are too small. Again, the leads are not fat enough. Maybe you don't have enough layers, or maybe you just mix it wrong. You know, you give too much reverb, maybe you have less saturation. Yeah, you gotta make sure that part is one of the biggest parts in the break. Yeah, the previous part, the vocal part shouldn't be bigger than the climax part.
In the middle.
And yeah, I will have some variations because right now the first and the second drop are kind of same. Yeah, if you fix those problems, you can release the track. It's almost finished, so good job on this one. So yeah guys, today I listened all of the demos that you sent me from Discord. If you don't want to miss the next feedback stream, you can join the Discord, link in the description. We are doing these streams monthly, so make sure to keep tuned in our Discord server. Today that was it. I hope the feedbacks are useful and you can apply this to your own productions as well. Thanks for watching guys, see you on the next video. Bye bye.